Hello, everyone. It's Sunday once again. A very good morning from Manchester. I know we're a bit late, but we made it. So we're here, and our guest is here as well this morning. So it's just about so like 5 p.m. in Manila, and in Dubai for some of our friends there, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So welcome to another episode of Ask the Drama. I dedicate this episode to a very dear friend of mine and my King B colleague as well, Neil Barker. I know that he's so like waiting for this episode for such a long time. I think it was like nearly 2 years since we started. But yeah, so I'm gonna bring our guest right now because I know it's a bit late, and I think he's so like got something else to do this afternoon as well. So my dear friends, please welcome Paul Hanley. Yay!
Finally made it.
Yes. Well, I forgot to ask you before. Can I call you Paul or is it Mr. Hanley?
No, Mr. Hanley was my dad. God rest his soul. No, I'm definitely Paul.
You're Paul. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'll call you Paul then. So how are you?
yep.
How are you this
I'm good,
morning?
thank you. Yes, very well. Sunny
Yeah.
Manchester.
Yeah. Oh, oh yeah, sunny Manchester. That's right. It's not true what they say about Manchester that it rains all the time. It's like
Gets
definitely
gets
not.
less rain than Barcelona. I
Yeah.
don't I don't know I don't know if that's true, but it sounds good.
Yeah. I don't know if so like you remember me, but I have been to a couple of your book events in the
Oh, cool.
past. Yeah. I haven't seen you play drums though.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a better writer than a drummer these days.
But I am really looking forward to seeing House of All
Oh, cool.
on Friday. But
Yeah,
and I'm gonna ask you about that later on, just in a bit. But for now, I just want to welcome you to Ask the Drummer. Episode 80 is all about you, Paul Hanley.
yep.
Yeah, so you are a proper Manc, born and bred in Manchester, right?
Not bred, born. My parents from Dublin, but they moved over just before. Well, they moved over 1960. I was born 1964. So, but I was born in Manchester.
Oh, right, yes. So they moved from Ireland to like
Yes.
many, like I think like many, so like people
Yeah,
born
it's a
in
there's a
Manchester.
lot there's a lot of us second generation Irish in Manchester.
Yeah. Can you tell us whereabouts in Manchester were you born and what was it like
I was
growing up?
I was born in St Mary's, which is a hospital um, right in the centre of Manchester. It's the Manchester equivalent of being born within the sound of Bow Bells, I think. So it makes you a proper Manc if you're born at St Mary's, because we lived in Plymouth Grove, which is just round the corner. So that's where we've lived till I was 3, I think, and then we moved out to Wythenshawe.
All right. Well, my daughter was also born at St. Mary's Hospital. She's a
Oh,
proper
cool.
monk, not me. I mean,
Yes.
I'm originally from the Philippines.
And you can be an honorary Manc.
Yeah. Well, my husband is from, he was born at Stepping Hill Hospital. So he's
Okay.
more for like Stockport than,
Yeah, yeah.
than a proper
Woolly
man.
back.
Yeah. um, so I know that your brother is also a musician. So
Yes.
are you from sort of like a musical family? Or is it just
Not
your
at all. No, no, not at all. There's only me and him ever really done anything musical. My mum was a bit of a singer. They were all a bit of singers at parties, as is the way with Irish working class people. They always used to do a number at a party. My dad used to do a Johnny Cash or someone, but no music, not really musical at all. No, I mean they couldn't do it. I mean it wasn't an option for then. Work got in the way for people of that generation. I think I don't think the arts loomed very large in their life at all, except going to the pictures maybe.
All right. Well, Aidan O'Rourke, who's my tech support, and he's my husband, he
Mm.
said that his parents came from County Limerick. So yeah,
Oh,
he's
cool. All
also
right. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. So is there like a conscious decision? Because I know that Stephen Hanley, your brother, is a bass player, and
Yeah.
you're the drummer. Is
Hmm.
there sort of like a conscious sort of like decision that you're the one who's going to be playing the drums, or was there sort of like time where you said, "No, I want to play the drums"? I know
No,
that
not
he's
at all.
older
No.
than
I mean, it was. he's a bit older than me, Steve. Not massively, but it was when you're in your teens, it's quite a big difference. So he formed a band with his friends. There was no way he would have considered having his little brother. Because I mean, when he first started in bands, I was only like 14 or something. But it just so happened that I ended up playing the drums, and then it became quite convenient, I think, to have a drummer because he was in the fall by then, and the drummer left right at the end. They had one more date of the tour or something, so I just happened to be there. That was the only reason I ended up getting the gig.
So he's actually a musician before. I mean, he was already sort of like playing with the Fall before you actually picked the drums and sort of like start playing.
Maybe not quite in the Fall, but yeah, I think he was definitely starting to think about being in a band before I started playing the drums. But I think it's a long time ago. I can't remember now. But yeah.
But what got you into drumming, though?
I don't know. I think it's pretty much like a lot of people sat banging the couch watching Top of the Pops. I think I don't know why. I don't know what it is about playing the drums appealed to me, but it just seemed natural when I started playing it. I picked it up pretty quickly. So I don't know why. I don't know where that comes from, but
yeah. Was there a particular moment in time, like you mentioned Top of the Pops? Did you ever see a drummer on Top of the Pops and say that, oh, I want to be like you? Like
yeah, definitely. What there was the guy out of the Glitter Band. He had two. I can't remember what song it was. It might have been Blockbuster, but there's one song where he's playing the drums and then he turns to the side and he's got these two massive timpanis. And I thought, that's pretty cool. I think that was one of the first ones I thought where being a drummer was pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. And so how old were you when you started your first band? And what was your first band, by the way?
I was in a band at school with a couple of mates. I think we had about 53 different names, none of which stuck around very long. But one of the only names I can remember is the Twisted Babies, we were called.
Oh.
We weren't very good. The thing is we rehearsed because we had older. I had an older sibling who was quite well established. We rehearsed in the same rehearsal room. So Davidson's in Manchester, where everybody rehearsed. Buzzcocks, Joy Division, The Fall, and we were like 15-year-old kids, and we got a room in there. We used to rehearse in the room where they filmed the video for Love Will Tear Us Apart. That room there.
Oh, is that the one with Anthony? Is it Anthony Davidson? TJM? Is it TJM Records?
TJ Davidson, yeah. That's him, yeah. Tony Davidson, yeah.
Because I went to one of his events in Manchester.
Yeah, he had a book out, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh wow! I didn't realize. I thought it was all like just Joy Division.
No. Everybody rehearsed.
Sorry about this, everyone, but I can't. Oh, there we go.
There we go. I can guarantee 100% it will be my end. There's something really strange going on.
I'm just sort of like seeing your name there with the mute. So like,
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. So you can tell that I didn't mute it because I couldn't find the button to unmute it. So if I'd done it, I would have seen it.
Yeah, it's just sort of like probably just one of those automatic things. But anyway, so I'm glad that you're back now. So and also Jenny Stevenson said hello. So hello,
okay.
Jenny. I'm glad that you're able to sort of like join us. So yeah, we were talking about TJM and that studio.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
everybody sort of like recorded at the time. So I've got to say, The Fall, was that sort of like your first major band?
It was. I'd played one gig before I joined The Fall. It was at a youth club in Openshaw, I think it was. So I had never really played with anyone. We did one gig, and then I played a gig with The Fall, and then I did another gig at another youth club, and then I joined The Fall. So I hadn't really done anything before I joined The Fall.
All right. I have to say, because like I mentioned earlier that I'm originally from the Philippines,
mm-hmm.
and we know a lot of the Manchester bands, like the Smiths, Joy Division, New Order.
Yep.
But I'm not sure The Fall actually reached us, which is strange because I mean, especially for me, who's very much into Manchester and Manchester music, and you can't get it all like any more manker than The Fall, right?
But no, I mean, I think more people have heard of the Fall now than I think. There was definitely a sort of level where the Manchester bands sort of went around the world, but the Fall didn't quite. I mean, they did all right. They played America a lot, and we went to Australia, and we went to Iceland, and the Fall went everywhere. Really, went to Japan,
Yeah.
but yeah, they weren't the same kind of level. Obviously not the same level as New Order. I don't think anybody's the same level as New Order, but yeah, they were kind of just under that. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say hello to Trevor Palmer. I said hello, Paul, as well. So he's joined us as well. But one thing I found out about about you being the drummer in the Fall, because they've had so many drummers.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So not that many. I mean, the number of members gets kind of exaggerated a little. So if you're looking at it, really, there was Carl and Simon
and Funky Sire,
Funky Sire and Kieran. I mean, they covered up between those three. They covered a lot of the time in the Fall, and then there was a couple of others slotted in, like myself, Mike Lee, but if you look at it, between Carl, Si, and Kieran, that's most of the Fall. I think most of the time. So it's only three.
Yeah, because you always hear this joke that every musician in Manchester has at some point been a member of the Fall.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you boil it down to core members, who say, there's not that. I mean, there's a lot, and there's more than a lot of bands, but there's people who came in and out. If you don't really count them, I think it is slightly exaggerated. It's certainly exaggerated how many people Mark E. Smith was supposed to have sacked. That's not true. I mean, most people left the Fall.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I also found out is the one Fall song that's massive, and we're talking about huge, really, really a big hit in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. You're the one who actually drummed on that, which has made me really happy. It's CREEP.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Actually, that's not true. I didn't drum on it.
Oh, did you not?
I played keyboards on it. I played keyboards. Yeah, we had two drummers then. So sometimes I played keyboard, sometimes Carl played second bass. But yeah, Creep, I played the keyboard.
Oh, right, so you didn't even drum on that CRE?
No. I played on it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's huge in the Philippines.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I think that's probably the only Fall song that made it to the Philippines. And we've
right. Well, I mean, that's interesting now, because that was when we signed to Beggars Banquet, and they kind of made a concerted effort to get the Fall over ground. So that's probably what happened, because there was a. I mean, well, I don't think it was in the writing of the songs, but there was definitely an idea to market it more as a sort of mainstream act then when we signed to Beggars Banquet. So that's probably why it ended up in the Philippines.
Yeah. And the record itself, especially the 12-inch, I mean, I do have a copy of it, a 7-inch, but without the sleeve. But
right, okay.
I'm sure every sort of Filipino record collector would like to own a copy of it. But
I wouldn't mind owning a copy myself. I haven't got one.
You haven't got one?
No, I've got no records, really.
Oh, they're quite expensive, because sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I sometimes think I should go out and try and get all the records that I'm on, but some of them Fall records are ridiculously expensive, so I've not done it yet.
Yeah. Heather Kins just said that the Fall are way better than New Order. That's according to Heather.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think another song, Fall song that actually reaches Victoria. I think I remember hearing it.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was, I think they were on Phonogram. Yeah, they were on Phonogram then again. I think that, again, they were trying to pursue a hit. Because obviously it's a cover version, isn't it, Victoria?
Yeah. Apart from that, I mean, now I'm actually getting to know more the Fall songs. I do know Hit the North, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
there's about, I wouldn't try and collect them. There's about 63 different versions of Hit the North.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah. Whenever we sort of get any sort of Fall records in King B, it always goes quickly, and people are really so fans.
It seems to be people who are Fall fans are really real Fall fans, aren't they? Some people are obsessed with them.
Yeah, they're hardcore fans.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying to my colleague Neil that I really don't know what to talk to you about, but I know that you're in a new band now, so
Yes.
that's the one that I'm really wanting to talk to you about. But
Okay.
when it comes to the fall, I mean, it's just so like
I mean,
I don't
I,
know
I was only
much
in it,
about.
the fall lasted 43, 42 years. I was only in them for 5 or nearly 5. So there's a lot of the fall that isn't anything to do with me, obviously.
Oh, so after the fall, so you said you only there with them for 5 years.
Yeah,
You joined Tom Hingley.
we did. Yeah, me
Is
and
it,
Steve both
yeah.
did. Yeah.
So was that your next band after leaving the fall? So like,
Yeah, pretty much. Steve had a band that I played with for a bit that didn't really get anywhere, and then Tom asked us to join. So yeah, we did 2 albums with Tom. That was pretty good. Yeah,
yeah,
we played some good
yeah.
gigs.
It's called The Lovers, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
The Lovers.
yeah,
And you always so like, I mean, now that you're older, because I know you said that Steve wouldn't let you in his band when you were younger, but
yeah.
but
That's
now
right.
that
Yeah,
you're older, you're actually so like in lots of bands together.
yeah. We come as a bit of a pair now since we started with the Lovers. Yeah, you buy one get one free. I think.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I also found out this is from your sort of Discogs
Oh
entry.
yeah.
You were also sort of like in a band with Martin Brammer before the House of All that called
Yes,
Factory Star.
we were. I mean, that was very much a vehicle for playing Martin's songs, which is slightly different from House of All. Martin's obviously a brilliant songwriter, and the Blue Orchids is his main kind of band, but he kind of changed the brand for a bit to Factory Star. So yeah, me and T played, but as I say, only just to interpret Martin's songs really, which was great.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it, but it's a different entity to House of All.
yeah. I've got a copy of the 7-inch single Lucy Bell. I
Oh,
think
have
it's
you?
yeah.
Wow, I haven't got one of them
Oh,
either.
yeah. The only reason I've actually found out about Factory Star is because it's on occultation recordings, occultation
Right.
records,
Yeah.
and they've released the Wild Swans album,
Right. Okay.
and I saw.
I don't think I'm on that Lucy Bell. I don't think
Oh,
so.
you're
We
not
did
on
record.
Lucy.
I don't think. I'm not sure actually. We did record it, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure whether he recorded it again because he had another lineup of Factory Style after me and Steve were in. So I don't know. I have
yeah.
no idea.
Well,
It could
because
be. Who knows?
that didn't last. It didn't last either,
Well,
did it? So, like,
no, it didn't. No, I don't know what happened really, but we didn't last very long. We did some good gigs, but we did one session in the studio, but which never came out. But no, it was good. But like I say, it didn't last very long.
and then after that, you were in Bricks and the Extricated. Is
That's
that
right. Yeah.
like, yeah? Because I mean, these are also like members of the Fall as well.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, all me and Steve do is go and prop up ex-guitarists from the Fall. We did some with Mark Riley, and we did a bit with Craig and Martin and Brick. So yeah, that's all we do.
Yeah, yeah. And then what are those? What are the sort like bands with? There's one called Kiss the Blade.
Yes, that was the band I was in after the Fall. They were terrible band. We did one single. We did one 12-inch single, which it was okay, but no, we weren't a very good band. It was my idea that when I left the Fall, I should start a band with my friends that we were all equals, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but it patently wasn't a good idea at the time.
Oh, right. So, so any other sort of like bands you were in that I forgot to mention before I actually ask you about House of All?
I think we've covered them all now. I don't think there's any others. Don't think I
No.
was I played in a covers band called XL5 for a while. That was good fun. No, I think we've done a lot now. I don't think there's any other secret bands I was in. If I think of any, I'll let you know.
So now we come to your new band, and this is fantastic actually because you're all members of the Fall.
Yes.
And you've got two drummers. I mean, you and Funky Si.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to a gig where they had two drummers on stage. That's why I'm really looking forward to like seeing you this coming Friday.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how did it come about? How
Well,
did you?
it was Martin's idea. Martin Brahma. His original idea was to do sort of hex trials, so sort of merging bits from the witch trials lineup and the hex induction hour lineup. So he first approached Mark Riley to do it, but Mark doesn't really play anymore. I think he might have had me and Steve in mind, but and then he bumped into Si, and that was when he came up with the idea of doing the two drum thing again, because me and Si both did the two drummer thing in the fall with Carl. I did it for a bit, and then Carl came back later on when Si was in the band, but we'd never played together, me and Si. We'd known each other for years, good friends, but we never played together. Although we've got a theory that we're both on Hey Luciani, which was a song which I recorded with the Fall, and then I always thought they re-recorded it with Si, but he reckons he just overdubbed it. So we might both be on Hey Luciani.
All right.
But we never really played together. But then, I was a bit nervous as to how it would work, but it's been fantastic working with Si.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, Funky Si has been really busy because he's got the San Pedro Collective.
He's in about 53 different bands. Yeah, he has. Yeah.
And he's also like Lucigenic, and all these bands are still gigging.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just sort of like wondering, I mean, how does he sort of like divide his time and so like doing all these things?
Well, it takes up less time than you think sometimes being in a band. If you want to do it that way, you can sort of dip in and out, which is what I do. It's certainly not my main focus in life being in a band now. I do it when I want to, and when I don't want to, I don't do it. So yeah, I think you can exaggerate how long it takes to be in a band.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say hello to Neil Barker. Neil is my colleague at King B. He's just joined us. He said he's sorry he missed the start, but yeah, he's
so did I.
Well, yeah. So how's the rehearsal going? Have you been doing a lot of rehearsals?
We've done a fair bit, not as much as you might think. We've done, but they're going really well. And we did a session for Mark Riley on Six Music last Wednesday, and that was great. That went really well. So yeah, I think we've got one more rehearsal Tuesday, and then the first gig Thursday in London. So that'll be interesting. I think we'll be all right.
I thought the Manchester one is your first gig. So
no,
you're doing London before Manchester?
Yeah, we're doing the Garage in London near Arsenal. Or near Arsenal's old ground. We're doing that. So that's it. First game. Start large. We're going to play in London first, so that could all go horribly wrong. But I don't think it will. I think we'll be all right.
The new album came out.
Yes.
2 days ago, last Friday. Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to getting. Is that going to be available? Is there a merch store?
Yes, there is. Yeah, there'll be records and T-shirts and all your good stuff. No tote bags, but
yeah, that's brilliant because I'm looking forward to getting a copy and getting it signed.
Again, so am I. I've not got a copy of it yet, so I'm looking forward to getting a copy as well. I'll probably end up having to buy
it. So, yeah, you're doing how many gigs are you doing for this tour? Is it
6? I mean, So like I say, it's possible to exaggerate how busy you are when we're only doing 6 gigs, so it's not exactly world tour. But yeah, we're playing London, Manchester, Wolverhampton, Newcastle, Edinburgh, and then Manchester again.
Yeah. The one on Friday is sold out.
Yes,
but the second Manchester gig, I think there are still tickets.
I think there's. I mean, I know people always say that they're going fast, but I think that the second one's fairly close to selling out as well. Because I don't think it's not the most massive of places. The White Hotel, is it?
Hotel.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about the place, but be interesting. But I mean, you've got to remember when this tour was booked, nobody had heard a note by House of All, so we were never going to be playing massive venues. So it's come together quite well, this tour, considering, as I say, none of the promoters had ever heard us, or nobody had heard a note of us when the gigs were booked.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the venue, the White Hotel, I have only been there once, and I remember It's okay, but I actually got lost because it was like it's a bit difficult to sort of
It's
like
in the
get
middle of
to
bloody
that.
nowhere, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
I was saying this to Neil yesterday that I actually ended up near the prison because
Yeah.
it's it's near the
Well,
prison.
well, if it's where I think it is, well, I got completely lost. I've lived in Manchester all my life, and we went to me and my wife went to a restaurant in the Green Quarter, which I didn't even know existed until fairly recently. And we went wandered down there, and I got completely and utterly disorientated. I could not recognise the place at all. It was completely different.
Where is the
It's,
Green Quarter?
that's a good question. It's I don't know. It's where the big co-op building is there at the end of not at the end of
Oh,
Deansgate. I can't remember where it is.
is it Collaboration Street or something?
Yeah, that's the
Oh
fella. I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Near Shoot Hill and stuff. I didn't know because I know about the Northern Quarter, but I've not heard of the Green Quarter before.
yeah, I know. I think we've got 16 quarters in Manchester now. I don't. Whoever decided to name them isn't very good at maths.
That's a new. Well, what? How would you sort of like describe House of All Music? Because I know I've seen this article that
Hmm.
Martin Brahmer is sort of like saying that House
Hmm.
of All, we are not the Fall.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know how to describe the music really. The only thing we took from the Fall really is the kind of the ethos to just do it, rather than think about it too much and plan it too much. We just kind of got the five of us in a room and just see what will happen, and record very quickly and not overdub too much. So it was like, but I think we don't really sound. I don't think it sounds much like the Fall at all, to be honest.
Do you think the hardcore the Fall fans would be sort of like judging you, or like expecting to see much so like the Fall kind of music,
It's
or
interesting that, isn't it? Yeah, it might possibly. I don't know. I never know because I mean, the Extricated was there was a few Fall members in that, and we were literally nothing like the Fall. But this time it's kind of there's slightly more improvisation and repetition, I suppose, is the two kind of strands that we share with the Fall. That not to be scared of repeating yourself, because we've had this conversation before. Martin's saying that you can't, the great thing about repetition is that it's never actually repetition, because you can't play the same thing twice. So to kind of exploring that's been really interesting, that side of the Fall sound, because I've never not done that ever since I left the Fall. All the bands I've been in have been about songs, so completed songs with the verse, chorus,
yeah,
middle eight, and all that kind of thing. But that sort of musical sort of soundscape kind of noise, for want of a better word, is not something I've been doing since the Fall. So it's been great to do that again, and I'm really pleased with the album. Because considering when we went in, it could well have been terrible. We had no clue. We'd met once, four of us. The four of us who live in Manchester had met and talked about it, and then none of us had met Pete, I don't think, with Martin, to talk to Pete Greenway on the phone. And then he came down, and it was just a joy to hear Pete in the studio, because he's such a great guitarist. I mean, as is Martin, but they're very different guitarists, Martin and Pete, and to hear them together, it was just amazing.
well, for me, I mean, because I haven't been so like I haven't seen the Fall live, obviously, and I didn't really know much about the Fall. For me, it's all new, so there's no way
Hmm.
that I'm
Yeah,
going to be sort of like comparing it to the others. But maybe
yeah,
some, yeah, maybe some fans would probably be doing it. But anyways, Aidan said that the Green Quarter is a private housing development to the east of Cheetham Hill Road,
yes,
and to the west is Strange Ways Prison. Wow,
yeah.
I didn't know that one. Well, that's
Well,
good.
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. And Spence Roberts just say hi, Paul. Hope your tour goes well. In the early days of the Fall, the songs you played on, did you get much say in the sound of your drums?
In the
How it was produced?
um, listening back, I think I did actually, because I was quite surprised, because I don't listen to the Fall that much, to be honest. But when I've gone back and listened to it, what I've noticed is the drums that always sound great on the records I played on. So now I finally, I didn't say much, but all the ones I played on, the drums sound really good, and it's different producers. So I think I might take credit for the drums sounding Fall Records. I think I'm old enough now to say that it was down to me. Well, I mean, it wasn't really. I just sort of sat there and hit things, and other very clever people mic'd them up. But they all sound great. All the fall songs I'm on, and I had a terrible drum kit. I mean, it was falling to pieces and decrepit, and it didn't match, and it was rusty and all that. It was very cheap, but they always ended up sounding good in the studio. So I'm going to take credit for that. It's all down to me.
Yeah. Well, A. Ruiz is watching from Singapore. He's from the Philippines as well originally, and just like what I told you, CREEP. That's what he said. So
yeah,
it's massive.
Cool.
Yeah. So you're also you've got your own podcast. Apart from sort of like playing, you've got your own podcast. I only found that out when I sort of like Googled you. You and your brother Stephen are doing it, and it's called Oh Brother. And I found out it's actually a title of a fall song. Is that
it is, right? Yeah. It was the single before Creep, and I play keyboards on that as well, funnily enough.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't think that song. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember hearing that in the Philippines.
No. That was the first single on Beggar's Banquet when they just kind of started trying to market the Fall as a slightly more mainstream band. So we did that, and then Creep was the sort of big push towards a hit that never happened.
Well, that podcast is actually amazing because you're interviewing other Fall members and also celebrity fans.
Yes.
I had a look at it. It's like Henry Rollins was all like one of the episode. What was that like?
It was great, actually, Henry. He was really I was a bit scared he was going to be a bit intimidating, but he was really nice. And he's a massive Fall fan. I mean, unbelievably massive Fall fan. If you see his radio show, he's got a radio show on the internet. He plays a Fall song every week. The one band that he plays every week is the Fall, and he's quite pretty knowledgeable about the Fall, and he's quite an obsessive collector himself, I think, of Fall records.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I know that he's got like a brilliant record collection because sometimes you see
incredible,
online. Yeah, Neil said that he loves that podcast. Oh Brother. Yeah, and he also said that CREEP was the first Fall song that he's heard on Timmy Mallett's show on Piccadilly.
That's my wife saying hello there.
Timmy Mallett's show on Piccadilly.
Oh, right, okay. Timmy Mallett. I only found out recently that's his real name, Timmy Mallet. I thought it was a stage name because he had Mallet's Mallet, but no, apparently that's his real name. But there you go.
Oh, right. That's so like he's famous for that. It's a bitsy song, right? Timmy Mallet.
It's a bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. Quite possibly the worst record ever made. Although it's got a bit of competition.
So you're now on your third season or season 3.
We finished the third season probably a couple of months ago. And we'll probably start up again once we've finished with House of All for a bit. Then we'll kick it off again.
I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of like put a link to that because I actually managed to find that Oh Brother podcast. Yeah. So I'll put a link on the Astronomy page that people can actually sort of like watch.
So available where you get all your podcasts. It's available. It's on all the usual suspects. It's on.
And
YouTube as well.
Your last guest was Kevin Cummins as well. So like
that's right. Yeah, we did that. At, there's the louder than. We did that in Walthamstow at the Rock and Roll Book Club. They have events on, so we did that kind of live with an audience with Kevin.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I wasn't sort of like looking at my notes there because. So you're still going to sort of like continue start season 4 after you've finished with the touring.
Yeah, we'll start thinking about who to have on then. But but season 4, I think we'll do season 4. Yeah.
Yeah. House of All, it's not just going to be a project. It's going to sort of like last. Like it's going to be like a proper band, and so like do.
It depends what you mean by a proper band. But yes, we've done some more recording. There'll be another album. I'm not sure when that'll come out. Probably maybe end of this year, beginning of next year. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised because when we did the first one, I didn't know if it would work, and then we got back together. We were doing it. Somebody wanted to interview us on film, so we thought a good thing to do would be go in the studio again, and they could film us while we were doing that. And then I was thinking we'd be lucky if we get maybe an EP out of it, or 3 or 4 songs, and then we ended up recording a second album. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
When are you thinking?
So hopefully that'll be out at the end of the year.
Oh, that's brilliant. Maybe more maybe more gigs.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And,
hopefully.
Yeah. Your support is like David Lance Callahan is going to be joining you in Manchester.
Yeah.
Or is it on all the?
I think he's on them all. I mean, is he any good? I've never heard him. So.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah, he is. But Darren Garrett, his drummer.
Yes, he was 2 drummers. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was. He also in the Fall? Was he a member?
Yeah, he was in the Fall with Kieran. Yeah, where they had 2 drummers. Funnily enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I'm hoping so. Like have him on the show on Ask the Drummer as well because he's brilliant. Yeah. He's an amazing drummer.
Yeah, I never saw them live. The Fall with. But I've seen some film online of them playing with the 2 drummers, and it is fantastic. I mean, that was even. I mean, no disrespect to Darren, even without him, they were a fantastic lineup. That last lineup with the Fall, the last 10 years with Pete and Kieran and Dave Spurt, they were. I mean, a properly solid band. Really good.
Has it always been so? Like the Fall's always been have 2 drummers, or
so there's three separate occasions when they had 2 drummers. There was me and Carl, and then there was a bit where Carl came back and worked with Simon, but Simon wasn't massively keen on playing 2 drums with Carl. I think he'd tell you himself. But they did it a bit, and then Kieran and Darren did it towards the end or later on.
Yeah,
it's always in Mark's kind of arsenal, 2 drummers.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll find out on Friday how it's like. Cause I'm just sort of like imagining having 2 drummers there. It must be really loud. So like the music.
It is really loud. Yeah, you got to be careful. If you look at film of the Fall with 2 drummers with me and Carl, when we first started, we're both right in the middle, right behind Mark, and he couldn't cope with 2 drummers right behind him. So if you look further on, they kind of moved Carl round to the side, so they didn't have 2 drums blasting out behind him. Because it's quite a sort of explosive kind of noise when you get 2 drummers really going for it, which we did and we still do. So yeah, but we'll see. I mean, we're kind of worked out the stage config so that but at the moment we're both at the back with Steve in the middle. But if it blasts Martin's eardrums off, we might have to rethink.
I do love Funky Si. I mean, I've seen him play drums a few times.
He's great. He's a great drummer.
He is great. So, but I'm also like thinking. I mean, the White Hotel, the stage there. I'm sort of like imagining how big that, because I don't remember it being that big. So having 2 drum kits, so like on the stage, would probably
it'd be interesting, won't it? Be a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean,
go on. Sorry.
I was going to say, when we first started with me and Carl, some of the venues we were playing were quite small stages. You basically couldn't get out. You were kind of boxed in for the whole gig. You couldn't move because we were that close together. But we'll see.
Yeah. We have to make sure that we have earplugs.
I do wear earplugs now. I should have done when I was younger, but I didn't. Hence I've got a hearing aid in my left ear now, but I do wear earplugs now.
Yeah. Trevor said that I think he was talking about the first Fall song that he's heard is Bingo Masters Breakout.
Yeah, right. He was right at the beginning. Yeah, that was right. That was the first thing released.
Yeah, and the first band he saw with 2 drummers, Adam and the Ants. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I love Adam and the Ants.
Yeah,
I love Adam and the Ants.
Yeah, and Neil said that
Kings of La Frontier.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, Neil said that he saw the Fall in early 1982 at Manchester Apollo. Oh, no, sorry. No, I think, sorry, I got that wrong. I think Neil was talking about Adam and the Ants. I'm sorry.
Yes, he will have done. Yes.
Yeah.
Paul never played the Apollo in 1982. I never played the Apollo with the Fall.
No.
I played the Apollo with the Extricated supporting the Charlatans, but that was the first time I'd played there.
Do you know, I found out that you and Neil actually got something in common because you were both on Pop Masters.
We were, yes. Yeah. I think
And
he did better than me.
well, Neil is a Pop Master champion. So,
I know, yeah. I know he is.
yeah, yeah. So you've also an author. You've written so like this one called "Leave the Capital." Uh,
Yes.
Paul Hanley. I think this is this your
Yeah.
first book? Because you've
That's my
done
first book, yeah.
three. You've done three now, haven't you? Or...
I've written 3. I've only had 2 published. We've got a third one, hopefully, coming out at some point. But yeah, so that was my first book.
Yeah, because when you had the talk with Dave Haslam, that's where I actually saw you.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I got this signed as well, which is really
Well,
great.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So is this something that you said before that you're more of a writer now than a drummer? So
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, how I like to think myself, but I always have this fear with writing that you're very rarely actually a writer. There's most of the time you want to be a writer, so you're writing and you want somebody to publish it, so you want to be a writer. Then you get your book published, and then the day that book comes out, from that day on, you used to be a writer because you're not a writer. Your book's out now, so you're not a writer now. You used to be a writer, and then until you've done the next one, and then for a brief moment you are a writer again, and then once the book's out, I used to be a writer. So yeah, it's quite an insecure position to be in, but. Yeah, I think if I was going to say which I enjoyed the most, I think that writing, I think would give me the most pleasure out of any kind of artistic endeavor I've been involved with.
not being a drummer.
Well, yeah, the thing about writing a book is it's all you, whereas a drummer, you're only as good as the people in the band around you. Which I am lucky enough to say I've only been in, as far as I can say, most of the time I've been in really good bands. But it's just when it's just you and a laptop, and then the end product comes out. I mean, obviously, I do have the benefit of a very good editor and collaborator, who works with you and tells that's a load of shite or whatever. But it's at the end of the day, it's your name on the front, so it's just you, and that's quite It's great. I mean, it was a great feeling to get a book out. You hold a book in your hand with your name on.
But talking about drummers, so it's actually Joe Strummer actually said it, but Bobby Gillespie was credited for it when he said that a band is only as good as its drummer.
It's very true. I mean, I think Joe Strummer, and I can understand why Joe Strummer would say it, because the clash with Topper were leagues apart than any other. Than they ever were with anybody else. I mean, if you look, I mean, I quite like the first Clash album. And what's he called? Terry Chimes was the first drummer. He's a perfectly good drummer, but with Topper, they were just untouchable, and they were crap without him. When he went, I think it was as much of a blow to lose Topper as it was to lose Mick Jones in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Heather's wanted to know: did you play on Telephone Thing?
No, that's Psy. Well, as much I think some of it's a sample, but yeah, that was Psy. That
Yeah, and Jenny said that she's been to see your nephew's band. He's also called Paul Hanley.
He is called Paul Hanley, yes.
Yeah,
and I've not seen them yet, but I've heard great things about them. They're supposed to be great.
Yeah, she's wondering why he didn't take up bass like his dad. And also, did you teach
because he wanted to be like his favourite uncle who he was named after, obviously.
So did you teach him drums? Or?
No, I can claim no credit whatsoever for Paul's ability on the drums. It's nothing to do with me.
Yeah, talking about sort of like game show. Another thing that I found out on Wikipedia on Google is that you took part in The Chase.
I did. I didn't do very well. Know. Sorry.
So how was it? I mean, I tried to like Google The Chase. Apparently, it's like the longest running game show in the UK, and I don't really have a clue why it is. So
you've never seen The Chase?
No.
Well, basically, you have a team of 4, and you have a quiz expert who is the chaser. So you have to answer more questions correct than they do. So you do a bit as a team and a bit on your own. And I never got past the bit on my own. So there you go.
Oh,
I can't believe you've never seen The Chase. That's unbelievable.
I don't. It's like when I saw it on Wikipedia that it's actually the longest running game show. It's
I
like
can't believe that. I can't believe that that's the longest. I'm not having that.
Oh,
There's
you
got to
know.
be game shows. There's got to be game shows that have run longer than that, surely.
Well, so when you're not sort of like entering game shows, and when
When
you're
I'm not
not
entering
drumming,
game shows, yeah.
and when you,
in the brief periods between appearing on game shows, yeah.
yeah, and when you're not drumming, what keeps you busy apart from your writing as well? So,
Well, I work for a living, so that's been my main activity for the last 30 odd years. Is actually working. I work in IT, and the main thing that takes up my life is my family. Obviously, that's given me more joy than anything I could ever do in music or work or anything else. Is my family.
Well, another reason why we sort of like had to start early is because you've got something else to do, so like work related this afternoon.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, well, I'm always working, mate. I don't know how I do it.
Well, I'm not going to keep you that long, but I've only got these general sort of like questions that I ask every drummer guest that I've had. So,
far away.
do you? Obviously, I haven't seen you play drums. Do you twirl when you play drums?
Funnily enough, the first time I met Si was backstage at a Fall gig, and he did it, and I said I've always wanted to know how to do that, and he showed me. So I've been practicing that for the last 30 years, and I still can't do it. So.
So you don't?
Let me show you. I can do that. I can do it for about 2 seconds. See, look at that. Terrible. That's as good as it gets. So I've never attempted it on stage, funnily enough. So that was appalling, wasn't it? No. So I think we'll both agree I can't twirl. No.
But will you and Funky Side do it together as well, like at the same time?
I can assure you we will not be doing dual twirlings.
Have you ever had? I mean, you've been sort of like playing drums for a long time now. Have you ever had any accident or wild goals?
I could tell you a tale. I think it's probably too early in the day to tell you the tale of the time I had an accident with a drum kit. I'll save it for my autobiography. But yes, I had a nasty accident with a drum kit once where I sat down on the stool without the top of the stool on, and ended up in hospital. But I'm not going into the gory details there. But it wasn't pleasant. Let's put it that way.
Well, did you not see it? It's or.
Yes. I saw. I knew exactly what I was doing. I thought I'd do it for a laugh. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna sort of like wait for the autobiography and so like read it.
Yeah. It's not a pleasant tale.
What about drumming heroes? Do you have any?
Yes, I do. John Marr. If I was going to pick one drumming hero, it would be John Marr at Buzzcocks.
Buzzcocks, yeah.
So he was kind of a role model. He was kind of a role model for me because he went to the same school as me, and he left school at 16 to join Buzzcocks, and I left school at 16 to join the Fall. So, I apart from any of that, he was just and still is a brilliant drummer. Really, really song orientated, and never about showing off. Always about making the song better, which is the way I've always approached playing drums.
Yeah, is he retired now? Because
yes, he is. He's up in. Yeah, Buzzcocks are still going, but not with John. He's up in the Hebrides. He runs a specialist car thing for Volkswagens. He moved up there with this car business. Yes, he's retired now.
Oh right. Oh wow. So it's like and again, so like Buzzcocks, there's only like, I mean, now I'm beginning to sort of like know more about their music, but I think again it's one of those bands from Manchester that didn't reach us in Manchester, which is sort of like crazy.
Yeah. Well, Ever Fallen in Love must have been a hit in the Philippines, was it? No.
To be honest, it's only after I've come here. I've moved to Manchester that I actually heard Ever Fallen in Love, but maybe it was just sort of like maybe other yeah. Well, hopefully I will also like find out where to contact on Mars.
Yeah. You should get him on. Yeah, he's great. He's very dry-eyed. He's not. He's not. What's the word? He's not romantic about it, but he can talk about the time and punk days and everything very well. He's a very clever guy, and he's
Yeah.
got a good memory for everything, and he doesn't dress it up or fantasize about things. You should get him on, definitely. He's great.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, fingers crossed. And Rennie as well. I do love
Rennie,
Rennie.
yeah. He's a great drummer, Rennie, isn't he? He's brilliant.
Yeah. Do you know one thing that I didn't ask you earlier, like when we started the show, is have you ever had any drumming lessons when you were
No,
so?
never had drumming lessons.
No,
No,
so
I can't.
yeah,
I can't read drum notation. It's
so
completely self-taught.
yeah, those are like paradiddles and rudiments and stuff. Do you?
Can't do any. I think I can do a paradiddle. I cannot do a what they called. A mammy daddy roll or a press roll. I can't do a press roll to this day. The ones, the military ones, where you can go 56,000 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
I can't do that.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I probably should learn, but I think after 43 years, I'll probably be all right without it. I think.
Have you got any advice to aspiring drummers out there?
The only advice I'd give any musician these days is don't expect to make a living out of it, because you won't. I mean, basically, that's it. If you want to be in a band, you should definitely be in a band. But if you're going into it with the idea that it's going to sustain you through your life, you've got no chance these days. And in fact, you'd never really had much chance, to be honest. But I think now it's virtually impossible.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it's so like harder for musicians nowadays, or but with the
I think it's. I mean, I've wanged on about this. It's certainly harder for working class people to break through in music these days. I think that the opportunities that you could not work and exist and be a musician until you started making a living. I think the opportunity to do that is almost gone now, to the point where the only people who can do that are people who can live off the parents or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much. I know that you've got somewhere to go to today, so yeah, we're gonna sort of like finish it now. Do you want to just sort of like invite people to see House of All?
Yes, please. So the dates are starting next Thursday in London at the Garage, then Friday at the White Hotel in White Hotel in Salford, and then Wolverhampton on the Saturday at a venue I cannot remember the name of, but I'm sure you can Google it. And then we've got Newcastle, the Cluny on Monday, and Edinburgh, the Summer Hall on the Tuesday.
And then back to Manchester.
And then back to Manchester on the Thursday, yes.
Yeah. And just to remind your fans that this is not the fall.
Definitely not the fall, no.
Definitely not the fall, yeah.
No.
I really am looking forward to seeing you and Funky Sai on Friday. So
great.
And thank you so much for saying.
You're very, very welcome.
Yeah, and
you're welcome. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I know you're working, but
you
still enjoy it. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, see you on Friday.
Okay.
Then. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And yeah, I know I'm so like about the chase. I didn't know. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of TV anyways, but yeah, I can't wait to see them play on Friday. And I know that some of you will be going to that gig as well, so I look forward to seeing you, Jenny and Trevor, this coming Friday at the White Hotel. It's a shame that Neil won't be able to make it, but yeah, see you all there. And thank you once again to our amazing drummer guest, Paul Hanley. Neil has been telling me to sort of like have him on Ask the Drummer for a long time, but I finally got the courage to ask him, so I'm glad that he said yes. So anyways, next week we're gonna have another amazing drummer guest. Please do keep an eye out for our guest announcement post on the Ask the Drummer Facebook page, and As always, love music, love life, love drummers, and enjoy the rest of today. It's a Sunday. It's still early. I mean, I'm so like commit, so like disorientated because it's normally so like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But anyways, yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend and hope to see you all again next week. Bye for now. Bye.